in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Ian, welcome to the Peter Schiff Show.
Hey, Pete. Thanks for taking my call. I just wanted to get back to this relationship between banking and government, and you seem to draw such a clear line between the banks and the government. And I'm just wondering, on what basis do you make that distinction? Because it seems to me like so many of these people in government that are pushing these insane policies are either banking veterans themselves or, tied in with the banking establishment.
Yeah, well, remember, the government and the banks are in bed together, so to speak. Remember, the government guarantees all the bank accounts, so they don't do that in other industries. They do it in brokerage as well, but a lot of of course, the brokerage community and the banks are all tied in together. So the government has already hitched its wagon to the banking sector. And so once you come in and guarantee all the bank accounts, then you have all sorts of rules and regulations that the government has to put in place because they've now guaranteed the bank accounts. Why we should not have deposit insurance. Americans do a lot of research before they buy a microwave oven or, a plasma TV or a car. They read consumer reports. They do a lot to make sure they're buying the right product. But no one does any research. They'll put $10,000 in a bank and they'll just pick the one closest to their house. Nobody cares because the government says it doesn't matter, because if your bank is doing stupid things with your money and they lose it, well, you're bailed out. Now, if we had no deposit insurance, that wouldn't be the case. Banks would compete based on who's the safest, who's got the most conservative loan portfolio. But right now, if a bank tried to compete on safety, if a bank said, put your money in our bank because we don't make any risky loans. Oh, and by the way, because we're not making any risky loans, we got to charge a little extra for our checking accounts, and we're going to have to pay you a little lower interest on your CDs. People are going to say, well, drop dead then. I'm not going to bank with you. I'm going to go with a bank that's taking more risk because, after all, I don't care about the risk because the government's got me covered. So we've got to get the government out of the moral hazard creation business. We need people to be responsible. We need bankers to be responsible, which means we need to get the government out of the subsidy business.